everyone is talking about this trailer, and I already see two big reasons on screen right now why that is. But, this series is blowing up, a lot of people are talking about it, and it makes a lot of sense, because it is being done by Studio Bind. For those that don't know, Studio Bind is the same studio that has worked on Mushoku Tensei Season 1, Season 2, they've done Onimai, now doing this new series called Introduction to Mineralogy, or Ruri no Houseki. They have done some pretty good work. I think that anyone that has watched these series knows that Studio Bind is a very talented studio. Their staff, their directors, their storyboarders, everything in between, they legitimately are talented. They are a very good studio. Obviously, they're not perfect. There is some negatives people have with some aspects of Season 2 of Mushoku Tensei. There's some drama associated with Onimai, but overall, they do really good work. They produce solid products. I would say in the last 5 to 6 years, they are one of the best anime studios, just hands down. It's really barely a competition, but they legitimately are amazing. And so them tackling another new series, obviously, I'm excited for. However, there's a lot of people that don't share that same exact sentiment, because obviously, a lot of people have it in their head that with this coming out, with Ruri no Houseki becoming an anime and being done by Studio Bind, there's a lot of Mushoku Tensei fans that are legitimately upset that this even exists. Because, for those that are out of the loop, basically, when Season 1 of MT came out, everybody loved it, obviously. And then, a little bit later, they announced that they were working on an anime called Onimai. And when that came out, a lot of people were upset because obviously there was no Season 2 yet of Mushoku Tensei, and they're like, why do you have the staff working on Onimai instead of Season 2? And it felt like it took a lot of way and a lot of time and quality and production from Mushoku Tensei just to put in Onimai. And a lot of people really resented the anime because of that, and a lot of people didn't even watch the series or even research the series or anything just because they felt like it negatively impacted Mushoku Tensei Season 2. The point of the matter is that a lot of people deem MT Season 2 inferior in comparison to Season 1. That's up to debate. I'm not going to debate that with you guys, but obviously a lot of people debate that point to this very day. Anyways, we know that Season 3 of Mushoku Tensei is coming out, and a lot of people are, anticipating that. But basically, with this announcement, and with this series set to come out this upcoming summer, literally next anime season, or less than basically a month, obviously, there's people that's upset with this, because that means that the quality of MT Season 3 potentially could be getting sacrificed for the series. That, obviously, I doubt is the case at all, but that is people's assumptions. And I feel like people are worried about that. Don't worry too much, honestly. I think that, if MT theoretically was coming out, let's say, this upcoming fall, then maybe there could be some arguments. Still, it'd be very loose, but, we still don't know when it's airing. It's probably going to come out next year, if I had to take an educated guess, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. But let's get back on topic. So, the design of the characters for this series, legitimately, I gotta point out, I just gotta be honest, straight up looks like female Ruri. And I feel like those in the boardroom that were, deciding on what series or what manga to adapt into an actual anime, they took one look at these characters from Ruri no Houseki, and they're like, yo, this looks exactly like Ruri. We can straight up animate this and basically make a female version of him. That's my impression. And I'm willing to bet you, when it came to the selection, the roster of different series, that was probably one of the thoughts that crossed their mind. Because honestly, Studio Bind has a pretty unique art style. Their art style is similar to other anime, but it's different enough to where you can slightly recognize that it is Studio Bind's work, because a lot of people, when they watched this trailer, they didn't even know it was by Studio Bind, but they were like, yo, why does he look like, a female version of Ruri? Well, the reason why, same studio, kind of similar staff as well. I mean, the director of the show is Shingo Fuji, which is, an individual that has worked on Onimai and also Mushoku Tensei. So, yeah, obviously the director knows what they're doing. There's overlap staff from previous seasons, and you can just see the art decision for the show definitely reflects that. But one thing I want to talk about is the synopsis of this. What a lot of people, I feel like, is not thinking too hard about, or really taking a moment to think about. And that is, this series tackles grounded fantasy. And if you don't know what I mean by that, let me explain. Grounded fantasy. What I truly mean by this topic is that we have a lot of anime that comes out that is just fantasy. Either it is transported, reincarnated, or whatever, or it's a traditional fantasy like Freerun. But the thing is that it always has, let's say, elves, dwarfs, magic, different world. However, when I say grounded fantasy, I don't know if that's a term. I'm making it up, I guess. But this is like an adventure story. It's a story about in the real world, but adventuring and discovering the magic of different minerals and rocks and different things within the world, in the earth, and all that nobody's ever seen. It's very shiny. It's like going into a dungeon and looting a chest or whatever. That's the equivalent of what this is. And I really like that aspect. It allows to have that same feeling. Like, it doesn't feel like a massive departure from what Studio Bind has worked on previously, because it does feel like it has that sense of adventure in it, but it's grounded. It's grounded in reality because it's literally about just trying to find minerals, maybe gold, etc. I really like that. And also, I really like the shameless nature as well of this trailer. You just saw it. I'm not going to rewind that, but Studio Bind, they know their audience. You gotta love it. But I just think that I love the presentation of this, that it feels grounded, realistic, and just finding diamonds, jewels, gemstones, whatever. You can do that in real life. And I like that. There is a layer of attachment, or there's a layer of it being immersive because of that element to the series. With all that being said, though, I will say that the art animation is absolutely spectacular. Background art, character design, line work, music. I wish I could play it. I don't want to get copyrighted, but the music is just super freaking good. Like, it actually blows me away with how good it is. And like I said, I feel like the tone or atmosphere that they were going with this is that they wanted you to feel like you were watching like a reincarnated series, but it's a series just in Japan. I don't know. I like that. It's a really, really nice theme. Now, with that being said, though, Ruri no Houseki is coming out in July. So we have like a month until it comes out. We don't have a confirmed episode count, it doesn't seem yet, so that's up for debate. It might be a 12-episode series, could be a 24-episode series. I haven't read the original work, so I can't really speak and say if it's a long work, if it's, has enough content to make a 24-episode series. I have no idea. But regardless, this is looking to be anime of the season. I don't think that it probably will win anime of the year, and let me explain the reason on that. I've been making videos on that topic for the past few days now, but we all know how the anime awards are, and because this isn't action battle shonen, it will never get the recognition that it potentially deserves, because obviously it's just going to be slice of life. It's going to be like moe blob, slice of life, characters being cute, and mining minerals. That's basically it. And so that will never, ever, ever, ever win anime of the year because of that. It doesn't have enough flashiness going on, even if it does have good animation. Just, there's not enough action, not enough dopamine hit from the animation and action to get people involved to say this is the number one, or to branch out and become mainstream. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, though. I wanted to talk about this. Like, this was a really good trailer. I really enjoy this. I cannot wait to actually sit down and watch this in a month. I think that, in general, this is looking to be maybe Studio Bind's best work yet. Like, straight up. Like, I think that this might beat some of the highs within MT Season 1 and MT Season 2. I don't know if I could say maybe Onimai, because there's some really good stuff in Onimai as well, animation-wise. But this is looking to rival or even surpass it. And I know that's going to be potentially a hot take with a lot of people, but slice of life anime can go pretty hard if they want to. And it's looking like this is probably going to be the case. I'll leave it at that, though. I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.